everyone, welcome back to English with Yakshi. In this episode, we are going to understand one of the most simplest topics in the English language, and it's none other than understanding syntax. In this module, the very first thing which we are going to cover is subject and predicate. Then we'll move on to understanding what is a compound subject and what is a complete subject and predicate. So let's get started. So, first of all, what is this crazy word syntax? Let's understand that. So, syntax basically refers to the arrangement of the words and phrases to create a meaningful sentence. It ensures clarity and grammatical accuracy in communication. So, whenever you're writing a sentence, sometimes it comes out naturally. We know that we have to write Ram is going to school, but some of the students who are a beginner, they get confused with the syntax, that how should we write our sentences, which word will come first, which word will come second. So that's exactly what we are going to learn today. And don't get confused by this syntax, it just looks difficult. The word is really simple. So the correct form is James is going to school, but the incorrect version would be to school James going is. So this exactly is what syntax means, that you should understand how you have to arrange the words in order to create a complete sentence. Okay, so syntax helps us to form logical and structured sentences, which gives result to a clear communication. A fun fact is that scientists also noticed that the language of chimpanzees was quite advanced. And upon research, they got to know that the reason behind this was that in their language as well, they had syntax. So they knew how to arrange words in their language, right? And that's something which brings them a closer competition or a closer species in terms of language. All right. Next is, what is a sentence? Really easy. So a sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. Whichever sentence gives you a complete thought, gives you the complete information, gives the reader clarity, is known as a sentence. Now every sentence consists of two main parts, subject and predicate. So I'll explain you how this is. Now, when it comes to writing a sentence, we usually understand the structure as subject plus verb plus object. Correct? Now, apart from the subject, whichever terms are associated with the sentence, so in this sentence it's verb and object, those are known as predicate. So you can always divide your sentence into two parts, subject and predicate. Now, sentence is James is going to school. So James is the subject and is going to school is the predicate. Alright, that's easy till here. Now understanding subject and predicate in detail. So what the subject does is that the subject tells us that who or what the sentence is about, because it's present right in the beginning. So here in this example we had James is reading the book. So you get to know who is the one doing the action or what the sentence is about. So this sentence is clearly about James who is reading a book. Comes to predicate, the second half of your sentence. So the predicate tells us what the subject is doing or what state it is in. For example, James is reading a book. So now we know that James is the subject, but what is the subject doing? That we get to understand from predicate, that is reading a book. So that's the state which James is in. Okay. Now this is the most simple representation of your structure of a sentence. Now we'll get to a bit complex subject and predicate. So these are known as compound subject and predicate. So what's the meaning of the word compound? You must remember it from the term compound nouns, where you have a particular noun for a group of things or a group of people. So that is known as a compound noun. But here you have to talk about compound subject. So when a sentence has two or more subjects connected by a conjunction, so you can use and, you can use or to connect two subjects. I'll tell you how. See, for this one, James and Sarah are playing chess. Now, James and Sarah are the compound subject. It means you have two subjects this time because there are two people in the beginning of the sentence, James and Sarah. So, this becomes a compound subject. But there can also be compound predicate when a sentence has two or more predicates connected by a conjunction. The previous one which we saw was James is going to school. In that one, there was only one type of information, that he is going to school. There is no other information connected by a conjunction. But if there is a compound predicate, it will be connected with a conjunction because this time you have two types of information. So let's see an example that James is reading a book and writing notes. So in this case, we know more about the compound subject, that there James is reading a book and writing notes. So from here to here is your compound predicate. Alright, the rule is simple. When there are two subjects or two predicates, they are known as compound subject and compound predicate. Okay. Now, the third term, which is known as complete subject and complete predicate. Now, this is slightly different from compound subject and compound predicate. I will explain you how. Now, the basic definition is that the complete subject includes all the words that tell who or what the sentence is about. Alright. Now, earlier, if we just write that, let's think of a girl's name, that Yakshi loves to read books. Let's take that example. So in this we have one subject and the rest of the sentence is predicate. Now if you give more information about the subject, if you include all the words that you can to give as much as information about your subject, in that case it becomes a complete subject because it's really descriptive. It gives the most of the clarity to the reader, as much as one can get. So let's read how. So complete subject would be the little girl with curly hair. Okay, so instead of using a girl's name, we talked about everything about her, the little girl with curly hair. And then the complete predicate is, it includes all the words that tell what the subject is or does. Loves to read books. Another one is, my best friend is moving to another city. We could have said Kanika is moving to another city, but we are using my best friend is moving to another city. So that is the meaning of complete subject and complete predicate. It gives complete information, as much as information as a reader can get. But never confuse it with compound subject or predicate. That is different. Compound means when there are two subjects or two predicates. Complete means there's complete information about the subject or about the predicate. Alright, I hope it's clear, but if you still have doubts, you can always leave a comment down there and I will definitely reply to it. Now some common mistakes or confusions which might be there. So see, the first one is confusing the part of subject or predicate with the complete subject and predicate. Now complete subject, girl is a partial subject, it's not a complete subject. The complete subject would be the little girl with curly hair. So when you just write girl, it's just simple subject, it's not compound, not complete. But when you write the little girl with curly hair, that is a complete subject. Okay. Then misidentifying compound predicates as separate sentences. Now see, James is reading a book, writing notes. So this is a fragment. You need to have a conjunction to connect it better. So the correct form is James is reading a book and writing notes. Okay, so you have to make sure that you connect it with a conjunction. Another one is leaving out the modifiers in the complete subject. So, an incorrect subject is apples, but the correct one is a basket of apples. It's more formal and more correct. Misidentifying conjunctions in compound subjects and predicates. Again, the incorrect subject is that James and Sarah loves chess. So here the correct subject is James and Sarah and the predicate is love chess. What's the meaning over here? That sometimes people take the and as a conjunction which joins two sentences. But here and is used to denote compound subject. Okay, so don't get confused in it. All right? Okay. That's basically what we did. I know we started with a simpler topic, but every topic can get complex. That's the beauty of English. So that's basically what we did today. If you have any questions, any feedback that you want to give me, you can always reach out to me or you can drop down your queries in the comments. Okay, see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.